All right, so go ahead. Tell me. We're, before we start this episode, I need to know about Assassin's Creed. Leo.
Okay.
You have to lay it down.
So last where we left off, it was in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, where you're at your desk for most of it.
Uh-huh.
The way this connects to Watch Dogs is you meet the CEO, which is some French dude. And then some side assassination mission in Watch Dogs. He in Assassin's Creed 4, he looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm going to Chicago. I'm just going to be there." And there's a side mission in the first Watch Dogs.
I remember it.
Where you get it from a place called, like, a person called the Brotherhood, and they use the same model and voice for the guy. And when you kill him, and a huge plot point in Assassin's Creed 4 is that he died while in Chicago.
I remember the exact side mission that you're saying.
But it gets worse.
No. Should we start the cutscene now?
Yes.
How's it get worse?
So when the Xbox One and PS4 came out and they released Unity for it, they also released Assassin's Creed Rogue, where you continue playing as that game dev and join it. And by the way, the entire time, this game dev is silent. You are a silent protagonist in the future. Everybody tells you everything. And then you find out, oh, everybody here is just the Templar. Not even like, oh, we don't know who we're working for. They're all Templars. And the end of the game is... Do you remember how they gave Assassin's Creed multiplayer, they gave it a story?
No, because I didn't really pay attention to it.
The story was the fact that they were essentially training an army of assassins through the bleeding effect to fight the Assassin's Brotherhood.
Right. Oh, right. I do remember.
And from Brotherhood to Revelations and Revelations to 3, it was like, congratulations, you got top marks in our last one, so we're gonna do this one now. So you meet the, like, top guy. I guess, like, you could say, like, he's the top multiplayer guy in the game. And he essentially threatens you to say, "Hey, game dev buddy, you're a Templar now." But in Assassin's Creed 4 as well, you actually see Juno. Oh, this is the bot.
What?
This level, it's supposed to be, you don't have, it's supposed to be, the challenge of this one is you don't have your partners.
Oh, but we're unlocking them.
Yeah, so we're saving him, and he's not gonna follow us.
But it looks like he does have health. If you hit him, he... Anyways, fucking game dev bullshit. Like, that might be the worst plot. This is worse than George Lucas Star Wars. Oh, what are we supposed to do?
We're supposed to go through here. There we go, EMP. Forgot we had that.
Oh, I thought I did it for a second because I shot him at the same second that you did the EMP. But, yeah.
So that's the bullshit with that.
Uh-huh.
But also, it also has no real connection to, like, what does... Because think about how the last game ended, by the way. Assassin's Creed 3 ended, spoiler alerts, it ended with Desmond, the main character of the whole thing, and the thing tying everything together, dying.
I've heard about that, yeah.
So Assassin's Creed 4, the best you get is if you go off the beaten path, which is the most boring thing you can do in that game.
Wait, did he die, or did he get lost in the animals?
He died.
Okay.
He was given two options. He could either... and I honestly found this, like, sort of cool. It's, he gave, like, the world is gonna end, and, like, the ancients gave him two options. Because you could either,
oh shit, they have turrets.
like, the entire thing where Assassin's Creed 3 takes place is like a shield sort of thing.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die real hard.
It's like, it takes place in, like, a shield, area, like a shield, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's shielded from, like, the apocalypse.
Shielded from the apocalypse.
Yes.
Sounds like a shitty movie, actually.
But the,
like an Assassin's Creed movie.
But from Brotherhood onward, there was an ancient named Juno, who was just sort of like, hey, I can help you save the world. And every other ancient you met through the series is just like, yo, this bitch is crazy. She's like, she will say, like, this thing will save the world, but she'll be released, so don't do it.
Yeah, but there's always some caveat. Like,
Well, no, and they say, like, so what they wanted to do. Oh, this is dumb. Okay, what they wanted to do is, like I said, Desmond, what you're gonna do is you're gonna let the world end, because apparently this happened before. Like, you're gonna let the world end. You're essentially gonna become Jesus, and you're gonna lead everybody with, like, to the future with what you know, and then it'll just happen again because it always happens. But then Desmond was just like, I don't feel like letting the world die, so I'll die. And then Juno gets released, which is now and with the after credit scene of Assassin's Creed 3, she's being touted as like the main villain of the series. But she hasn't actually appeared in any game.
So she's the main villain, and the Templars are gonna end up being good guys because plot?
Well, in Assassin's Creed 4, a character that you're following, like, they introduce this idea of, oh, some of the, like, old gods slept with some humans and created like a triple helix DNA human.
Okay.
But every single human with a triple helix is a reincarnation of Juno's husband. And so, like, he's been like a recurring villain through, like, as like different people in time. And he tries to kill you in the future of in the, like, present day section of Assassin's Creed 4.
Okay.
It gets convoluted. It's like Metal Gear convoluted.
Like, yeah, but it's worse than Metal Gear convoluted at points. Like, I always imagined we would get to the point where, like, after Desmond gets out of his fucking, after they captured him, it's just not the way I saw any of it going, and it just sounds so complicated and dumb rather than just the idea of, hey, the Templars are bad guys and they want to kill us and they're doing this thing. You're an assassin, so you have to return to your assassin roots because it's very clear that your parents were. It feels like they moved away from that to a point of, like, the second one started to go that direction. It did. Desmond met other assassins, met, like,
but that's the thing, like, Desmond was still, like, if you forget, the whole point of Assassin's Creed 2 was, let's train Desmond to be like us.
Yeah, exactly. And then it fucking forgot about that. Like, everything that I've heard...
3 builds up on that.
Well, but everything I've heard about 4 on just completely disregards basically all of your current time stuff.
Oh, entirely. Like,
it's just like,
Juno,
we did that and fuck everything.
Juno actually appears in Assassin's Creed 4, but she shows up, like, because you're told to, like, hack stuff from, like, the modern day version of her husband. And
what?
she just comes back and says, oh yeah, no, I'm not ready yet. And then goes back, and the guy tries to kill you, and he gets fired and killed.
What?
But then, Assassin's Creed Unity comes out. Remember how...
I remember Unity was a really, really shitty game.
Unity gameplay-wise isn't horrible.
I don't know. The up and down mechanics for it are
I mean, like, as a game itself, it's not horrible.
Oh, okay. But, like, the climbing in it, the fact that you have to hold down,
yeah,
basically extra triangle to go up or down.
But to make
A and Y for you Xbox people.
But to make it even worse, what's it called? Remember how I said Abstergo just kind of became a game dev?
Mm-hmm.
So you are a person who bought Abstergo's newest console.
Uh-huh.
Which is, for some reason, an Animus? Like a home version. It's called a Helix, but it's like a home version of an Animus that they just give you, like, they edit the history of it a bit to make the Templars seem good. So you're just a guy who bought this console, and so this person hacks your TV and your console saying, hey, so we're pretty sure that the Templars are looking for this thing. If we like hack your game to look for it, could you look for it for us before them? What? Because apparently, remember, like I said, like, oh, Abstergo is now looking for like the DNA of a triple helix person because they found out that there was one in France that died in France. So it's all in the past, but occasionally you'll hear a voiceover from somebody in the future, including the two helper characters in Assassin's Creed 2 and on, and they just sort of go like, "Oh hey man, thanks." And to make it even weirder,
"Oh hey man, thanks." But, by the way, this is the turret we should use the hollow shield on.
Yeah, but to make it even worse, there are points in the game where it just shuts down, where it quote unquote shuts down because Abstergo realizes what the assassins are doing. So they say we need to lose them so that we can continue doing this. So they just put Arno in random. They just put Arno in random points of France's history. There's a whole level where you play as Arno and you can unlock ancient assassins outfits from the other characters. So I was Arno dressed as Ezio climbing up the Eiffel Tower in World War II.
What?
Yeah, because to avoid Abstergo, they just hacked you into a different timeline with Arno.
Cool.
And to make it, and to make the whole game just seem like it's a moot point,
because it hasn't already.
You find the guy that Abstergo's looking for. You kill him. Arno takes his skull and stuffs it into the France catacombs. And so it's a great cutscene where he just takes this guy's skull and forces it in there along with just a nameless grave. And then you just hear a voiceover as the camera the credits are just a beautifully rendered version of the catacombs. Because there's one thing that you can't deny, it's that the fact that Assassin's Creed games at least look beautiful.
I mean, yeah, they do.
So this so after you get this beautiful cutscene, you just see you just hear one of the assassins from the future. Hey, thanks, guy. I don't think we have to worry since we don't have to worry about it since the catacombs are so big. I doubt Abstergo's ever gonna go looking for them. So
cutscene.
No, it's just so thanks for helping us out. If we need you, we'll contact you again.
That's it?
Yeah.
So your entire involvement into the game seems pointless because nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fantastic. That's I just
see.
All right. So I feel like we've gone through most of them. There's one last one you need to tell me the stupidity of.
Syndicate?
Yeah.
Syndicate isn't the worst, I would say.
Yeah, but you say that as if you're not even sure.
Essentially, it starts up the same way. You're just trying to play your game, and then somebody hacks you and says, "Hey, we need you to do this for us," and you're just I mean, whatever.
Cool. So they didn't even have an original story.
And to make it worse, the final boss location and the final boss fight is essentially the same. The whole area just looks they just took the map file from Unity and put it in there.
Cool. So then finally, we come to now.
But it's not done. There's a weird area because it takes place during the Industrial Revolution. There's a weird black hole area that when you get close to it on the map, it just gets glitchier and glitchier, and your actual map system starts glitching out. Mm-hmm. You walk into it, and I found this really cool. You play. It was the main villain Juno hacking your system because she now, by the way, according to Assassin's Creed 4, I forgot to mention, she now just apparently lives in Abstergo's computers.
Because a god needs to do that?
I mean, at this point, they're all digital constructs, according to them. So they
could just shut down their servers and they're over.
I guess. But then we won't have a game here, will we?
Right, because plot. The only reason that they haven't died is because plot. It's the only reason anything ever happens in any of the Assassin's Creed games. Not because it makes sense, because plot. Like, okay, now we can finally get to talking about Origins.
No, Syndicate though.
No.
So you walk into this thing. And it just takes you to World War II. And you play as like the descendant of like the twins from Assassin's Creed from the main game. And it's a great story. It's like how she like helped Winston Churchill win World War II. And it's like a whole like mini map version of England and everything. And every time you beat it, like you beat one of like the main story missions of that area. Mind you, this is completely optional. You beat one of the story missions in that area, you unlock Juno talks to you and says, "This is what I'm doing."
What do you think,
and she starts slowly elaborating her plan to you.
Why? Is there any point for her to elaborate the plan to you?
They needed to like explain shit quick.
Right, but Juno, as a character, does she actually need to say anything to you?
No.
Like, is there any reason for her? Why? That's the thing. Everything is done for plot than anything else. It's literally the I'm an evil villain.
Oh my god, this is the perfect level for the Scorpion Flail.
Oh lord, is this happening again?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah.
Just can you stand on the button?
Which button? There's a button?
Yeah.
Where's the button?
That button.
Oh,
the
yeah,
yellow
yeah.
one. I'm just gonna flail shit.
I got the Arbiter.
So, after all that, this is like nothing happened in Unity, but shit happened in Syndicate, where it's like the game essentially just still goes like, yeah, no, we're looking for this thing. We need him to find this thing that these two people knew. So we're all good. And then, but at the very end, everything goes wrong because Abstergo was tracking you the entire time because you're using their goddamn console.
The whole time!
And then, so they're just like, okay, this this character that was talking to you before, who apparently, she showed up at the beginning of the game and just says, "Thanks, man, you're helping us out a lot." Apparently, she's really big in the like Assassin's Creed comics, and you just, I think, see her die.
Wait, so a fan, basically a fan, literally a fan?
No, like an actual like assassin that's in the comic series. Because I think the comic series takes place mostly modern day.
Right. Of course it does. You can tell my disdain as a...
So what about Origins?
Fucking Origins. Alright, so... We've only seen gameplay of it.
Which, to be fair, is better than just giving us a pre-rendered trailer like they usually did.
It is, but at the same time, when you have problems with the gameplay... Because I already, like, I don't know what they're going to do with the story. It's going to be some bullshit thing of the start of the, you know, Order of Assassins, but at this point, who really cares? Like,
I want the modern day story. I'm waiting for that.
I'm waiting for You're the Assassin that they trained to break into fucking Abstergo, and I will be happy with climbing up the entire fucking tower that they've shown. They've shown us this huge tower that's like their headquarters, and I'm like, I want to fucking climb that, and my sync point better be the goddamn top of it. But we're not going to get that. We're not going to get that for a very, very long time. What I think Origins is going to do is we're going to climb to the top of a fucking pyramid, and there's going to be a fucking pharaoh that's, you know, a goddamn Templar, because, oh, what else can we think of?
No, Templars weren't created yet.
There will be an equivalent villain.
Yeah, of course.
who will have he will have a cross, and they'll be like, oh, that's where the Templars came from. And you know what my response to that will be? No fucking shit. And fucking Eagle Vision!
He's really angry about this Eagle Vision, guys.
The Eagle Vision, listen, let me tell you, the moment that he put up a fucking actual eagle, and he's like, "Be my ice, senor," and he fucking. It fucking flew up in the air, and then you went into its mind, and then it stops midair because that's how birds work. Let me tell you, it's like when did your eagle, one, turn into a helicopter, and two, how can it actually fucking like put that in your head?
See, my thing about the Assassin's Creed series at this point, it's like when it first came out, it was. Oh, we're not gonna do this, are we?
Maybe not. We don't. Do we actually? I don't know if we get time back for.
You get like a second.
If it wasn't so hard to control this goddamn thing.
Like, my thing about Assassin's Creed is when it started, I think it was great because it was so refreshing. Like, because, like, admittedly, we've never really seen anything like it. The closest we did get was Ubisoft's own Prince of Persia.
And Splinter Cell a little bit. Both Ubisoft games.
Yeah. But even then, like, Splinter Cell, like, had its focus on the shooting.
It did.
And not much and that's more of a stealth game and it's, as people say it is, but Assassin's Creed really is not a stealth game.
Well,
at least anymore.
It was.
It had its missions.
What I think it pointed out was that, like, Assassins, yeah, they were stealthy, but it wasn't really about that. It was to kill them no matter what the means, and if you had to go hard, you had to go hard. Yeah, Splinter Cell is literally Black Ops don't get fucking... Why do I not have a reverse? This car doesn't have a reverse.
It doesn't?
No, I can't go back. I can't go backwards. So I have to turn around and get a fucking ring. Or at least, I don't know what the button is for a reverse, because it's not back on the stick, even though forward on the stick is the fucking drive.
Well, we're doing it. We're doing... I'll shut up.
But, yeah.
Now, every single... I think why people have the disdain for Assassin's Creed, and why I still love it, it's the fact that Ubisoft is such a company. They have, like, so many games coming out at once.
But because it's not Ubisoft. Ubisoft has how many studios under its wing?
Oh, so goddamn many.
I think they have over 50. And
yeah, actually, we might have this.
No, we don't. So they have over 50 studios under their name.
Each with a Ubisoft, like,
Not
Montreal.
Even that. They have more. They have more than that, and they're just named what they are named. So there are games that come out that are by a different studio, and you would never have known it until you see the published by Ubisoft logo.
See, I'm only talking about, like, games made by, like, the main Ubisoft, like Montreal Ubisoft.
Yeah, but even those, like, what sometimes they do is they'll buy another studio and change their name to a Ubisoft thing. And beyond that, there are things that are owned by Ubisoft, not just published, like owned by the developer, that are different studios, and they're not named Ubisoft developers.
Yeah.
There's a list of like 50 people that are literally part of Ubisoft.
But like my thing is like when it comes to like their main franchises, like Assassin's Creed, like Division, like
that's not a main franchise. That was a one-off IP, and I don't think it's gonna come back.
People said the same thing about Watch Dogs.
That's very true. But that was also Montreal, so I think that was like their break game while they didn't work on another Assassin's Creed. Oh my god.
See, but my thing is like the main gameplay is because like Assassin's Creed 1 felt like a beta. Assassin's Creed 2 is probably one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
And it's great, but every single other Ubisoft main franchise, Landstalker,
destroy the required amount. Oh, this I think this is a rail shooter.
Oh, okay, these ones I like.
Yeah, these aren't bad. Yep, rail shooter.
But it's like every single game is just Assassin's Creed, but
yes,
like there is the
oh, if you shoot to the center ones, all of them pop.
Like Far Cry is just Assassin's Creed, but a first-person shooter.
I mean, I haven't actually played
three on.
I don't think they are. I never got that impression from them.
They have they each have like the missions where you start them by walking up to a point in the map. You in order to get, it's an open world once you finish the first few levels. Once you get to the in order, you can't see all of the map, you need to climb a tower.
Oh yeah, well I mean like that mechanic of it might be there, but I always felt it was more like Skyrim but with guns.
All right, Adam Kovic.
It is.
Fallout, duh.
Well, no, because Fallout did something very different with its thing.
Ah, shit. Fucked up.
Did you? I don't know. We're gonna get it anyway. We have so many points. Jackpot time. Jackpot time. All the things disappear. Cool. Oh, they're all on this side. Well, fuck.
You see, like, but I'm saying, like, even like The Division, it's Assassin's Creed, but a third-person shooter. Where it's like you go up to, in The Division, it's, hey, walk to this, essentially, like, okay.
Oh, we can get hurt by those. Interesting.
Ubisoft, like, to me, I think the better way to say it is, to me, there is a sandbox game, like your GTA, like Saints Row, or Metal Gear Solid 5. There's your sandbox games, and then there's your Ubisoft sandbox, which is you show up, you do a few story missions, you have a giant map with a bunch of small little side missions that you don't even have to do, but there's so many of them, and it takes up, that's all the content. It's just, you go up to a marker, you do the mission, usually it takes you to like an instance level and then puts you back.
I mean, but that's how most sandbox games
I know, but it's like something specific about like the Ubisoft games have like a distinct sort of feeling to me. I don't know. It
oh my
feels,
god, are we at the...
Yes. To me, it just feels manufactured.
I don't know. Well, I guess is the last thing's just fighting Hardlight, right?
Yup.
So
well, it's a tournament and then Hardlight, so
all right, well, I mean, we're probably gonna kill him. See you guys next time, and we'll probably bitch about other games more.
see ya.